This is going to be an angry video. It takes a lot to make me angry, but this affair really struck a nerve. I've been stewing in my juices for the past couple of weeks. Now I am ready to explode. So you better stand back. I have been involved in the culture wars for many years, and on many fronts. One of these fronts is the battle against anti-Semitism, which is thriving online. Since the Western political sphere, old media and academia have effectively stifled anti-Semitic voices, they find their expression on the internet, where their arguments can easily affect the minds of people who never got to hear them debated and debunked. It is therefore imperative to use the internet to have these debates, and to push back against the anti-Semites, which is what I and others have been doing. By now, we pretty much know all of their arguments, and we know how to debunk them. But the sucker punch that we just got is something that I did not see coming. It was only in 2017 that I became aware of the Nazi pug video, uploaded by Count Dankula a year earlier. You know the story. Dankula wanted to play a prank on his girlfriend, so he turned her cute dog into an evil Nazi. It was a hilarious video, and like every great joke, it also had perfect timing. Right at the time when neo-Nazis and anti-Semites are trying to gain respectability and be taken seriously, came this video that shows them for what they really are. Trained mindless dogs who get ecstatic by the thought of gassing the Jews. It was a brilliant parody, a breath of fresh air, and was very well received and liked by millions of people, which made me even happier. For a Jew, it is always heartwarming and reassuring to see so many people treating Nazis and anti-Semites as the butt of a joke. I was bemused to learn that Count Dankula got arrested for his joke video, and that he was being accused of actually promoting anti-Semitism. But I chalked it up to the cultural gap, to the inability of some people to understand internet humor. I was pretty confident that the Scottish court will acquit him, since Dankula states very clearly in the video that the joke is an expression of his contempt for Nazis, and since he has a history of speaking against racism online. There will always be some members of the public who will take an off-color joke the wrong way, but the court is supposed to be the voice of reason. And there is no way that a reasonable person can see the video for anything other than what it is, a joke that makes fun of Nazis. But then, after dragging the trial for 2 years, the court came back with a guilty verdict, and when I heard it I felt physically ill. This verdict isn't even close to being anywhere within the bounds of reason. You have to be intentionally obtuse to claim that the video is anti-Semitic and pro-Nazi, but that is exactly what the Scottish legal system just did. Which leads to the conclusion that Count Dankula's persecution is driven by an agenda. I don't know what exactly the agenda is, and I want to believe that the Scottish court didn't knowingly try to harm our efforts to battle anti-Semitism. But the fact is that this is exactly what it did. As someone who has also made videos parodying anti-Semites, I am now genuinely afraid to travel to the UK. This verdict will deter people from making fun of Nazis, and will help anti-Semitism thrive unchallenged. And the fact that it disguises itself as a decision aimed at defending Jews just adds insult to injury. As a human being, I am appalled by this miscarriage of justice. Sorry. This abortion of justice. As a Jew, I feel violated and abused to see the sufferings of my people being so cynically exploited to promote an agenda. And I have heard from many other Jews that they feel the same way. There is an old Hebrew proverb, "He who takes mercy on the wicked will end up being wicked to the merciful." I am not very fond of this saying, especially considering the context it was said in, but it's hard not to think of it here. In recent years we have been witnessing an effort to make it illegal to hurt people's feelings. And since those whose feelings are most sensitive are usually those who are the most narrow-minded, this development usually ends up protecting bigots from being mocked for their bigotry. And now, it has also led to the prosecution of a kind-hearted and courageous man, a man who even while being persecuted, kept on speaking against racism, anti-Semitism and hate, and stood with us in the fight against the far right. The injustice is sickening. I was waiting for people in the UK to take a stand against this outrage, to speak up against the legal system that is raping my dignity and robbing people like me of the right to mock those who want us dead. but apparently the British public has been demoralized into silence by the fear of prosecution, and nobody says what needs to be said. Looks like it falls to me to say it. So now, I am going to boldly go where everyone should have gone before. I accuse the Scottish legal system of prosecuting a man not for the aim of achieving justice, but to further a political agenda. I accuse the Scottish legal system of providing legal cover for neo-Nazis and anti-Semites. I accuse the Scottish legal system of using Jews as instruments, thus denying our humanity. I accuse the United Kingdom of creating an environment in which it is illegal to mock anti-Semites. I accuse the Scottish Council of Jewish Communities of collaborating in a case designed to benefit anti-Semites and other haters. I accuse the old media of betraying its job of being the watchdog of democracy, and in some cases even playing active accomplice in this witch hunt. I accuse intellectuals, comedians, and human rights activists for being too cowardly to speak up. I accuse Jewish organizations of remaining silent and allowing the persecution of an innocent man when they had the power to affect the outcome. And I accuse the Scottish court of grossly offending any sense of justice, decency, and liberalism, to the point where we are now afraid to express ourselves. Now that the nature of UK law has been revealed, I am aware that in making these accusations, I might be making myself liable to prosecution, something I wouldn't have thought possible until now. But I expose myself to that risk voluntarily. My fiery protest is simply the cry of my very soul. Do your worst.